I'm an engineer, chemical engineer. I do a lot with Society of Petroleum Engineers. I work in digital transformation. And my goal and my game is to help big companies transform and start using more modern digital technologies at an enterprise level. So that's the activity that I'm very passionate about. And I've been doing that for most of my career. For SPE, Society of Petroleum Engineers, I focus mostly on data and digital. So I've done a lot with the Data Analytics Study Group, which is primarily where I focus my time. I've done things in other parts of SPE, but that's predominantly data science, data analytics. And probably I'll put more of my time into that into the future. I have published on domain areas. One of the work I did earlier in my career was natural gas condensates and how they could be used. So that was with a project I did in Mozambique and research I did in quite a bit of the research I did, not only in Mozambique, but in South Africa. And I was able to publish that through the Society of Petroleum Engineers, which was really exciting, and create a dialogue around that. So yeah, SPE is fantastic because it's really just a group of technical people, and we're having these big conversations about energy in the world, energy mix. So that's such a big topic, and anybody can understand that. And then to be drilling down into not only that, but then talk about these other big topics like digital transformation, artificial intelligence, machine learning. It's just an amazing space to have these complicated conversations with a lot of smart people. The panel is fantastic. This is my third time doing this moderation for this convention, and then the SPE's invited me to moderate other times on other panels. So I jokingly say I'm the LeBron James of moderating, so just a joke. The panel was just fantastic, and we talked about an area that I'm really double clicking on, which is artificial intelligence. AI is this kind of popular topic. It's been democratized because we now have this ChatGPT, and high school kids are using it now to write their term papers. So it's everybody's using it. It's available. But when you start really talking about it from a specialized area of engineering, it is a lot more nuanced. It's not as simple as having it write a paper for you. Now, can we use AI to do some complicated engineering tasks that we haven't been able to figure out, or to speed things up? And the panel today talked about that in a nuanced way. We don't agree on everything yet because we don't have all the answers. And this is still a lot of unknowns in this space. But it was interesting to hear from experts in the field, their thoughts on everything from, can we actually use AI to solve some of these problems? Whether it's optimizing oil and gas exploration, to some of the complexities around the business issues and the ESG issues associated to AI. So it was just an interesting dialogue and conversation that we had with these experts. These are people that have spent years doing this, that are educated in this space, and that their day-to-day, they eat, breathe, and sleep AI and machine learning in the energy space. Whether it's on the business side or the strategic side, or whether it's on the engineering side of it. So it was just a fantastic panel. I enjoyed it. I loved the dialogue. Afterwards, I sat there and kind of nerded out with the panel, so I really enjoyed it, yeah. I mean, I have random thoughts about the future of AI. Again, I am a nerd, so I dabble between whether AI will truly displace some of the heavy engineering tasks. I mean, will AI, and I've thought about maybe even writing some of this into, maybe I'll put something into a LinkedIn post or something you all could read about, but if you think about it, AI is producing calculations in simple terms that we have not figured out yet. Now, unless you believe in magic, and that's fine, I'm not judging. Whatever we call the AI black box, where it's producing these results, and we just don't know what it's doing, it's producing it based on a physics principle that we just don't know yet, right? But it's there. There's something there that it figured out. And until we figure out how to reproduce the calculation itself, it's essentially a black box to human beings, right? Now, the question is, do we need to know what's in that black box before you use the AI or trust the AI, right? Or can we just have a series of these quote unquote black boxes of calculation that are calculations, and can we just say, okay, we know it's reproducible, we know it's something, and use that and create innovation on top of that. That unknown space is kind of black box. That is going to be important to understand, because do we think AI is going to be like almost like a person? Is it going to get smart enough to where we can't distinguish if it's truly a machine? Is it essentially going to be sentient because it's so intelligent, right? If it becomes sentient, then we have to think about intention, right? The idea of having a black box and not knowing what is inside the black box. When it's one of these black boxes, that's fine. When there's a million of them and this thing is now sentient, it may make decisions that we don't necessarily think we agree with, right? These are some of the big discussions that need to happen, and we need to figure out. And it's moving so quickly, I don't know if we have those figured out fast enough. And meanwhile, these black boxes may be sitting in devices that control our lives, right? So it's just such an amazing technology. I'm not a believer in stopping technology. I'm a believer in let's run and like take advantage, because that's just where it's moving. We can't stop it. But let's also have intentional conversations. And I think SP is a perfect place to have these conversations, because the people that we're talking to are experts, right? But I also think SPE needs to partner with all these other different areas of expertise, because these are so complicated. Like we heard today, it's not just engineers. We need lawyers in the room, right? We need compliance people in the room. We need all these different people, potentially politicians in the room, and to come up with some strategies and ideas around this. So that's going to be interesting to see. So I know you said, what's the future of AI? And I kind of went down this rabbit hole, but that is the reality, right? And it's exciting, but I think potentially AI can get, if you want to call it smart for lack of a word, smart enough to potentially become sentient from what we understand as sentient. And I don't know that we'll be able to distinguish between a very, very smart entity that seems to have emotions like humans and a human emotion. I don't know how we would do that without somehow undermining ourselves as humans, right? So that's such a complicated question.
Well,
sorry.
No,